Dear students, welcome to the e-learn. This initiative has been taken by Cambridge International School, the SUR. Hello, I am Navdeep, working as PGTIP here. Students, it's very important to take care of your health, also help your family members. So, this is just a message from my side. So, starting for the today's topic, we have already started these sessions. Last session was on NumPy. So today we will cover one more topic that is indexing and slicing in NumPy. So moving to the today's topic, that is indexing and slicing. So students, this is a very important part. Indexing and slicing is not used in NumPy also in advanced topics like pandas. This is very basic steps, indexing and slicing. Clear? So I think the today's lecture is also very vital and very basic to understand the later on the advanced concepts of NumPy. Students, till now we have covered introduction to NumPy, what is the command for installing the NumPy array, and then the creation of NumPy array from list, and attributes of NumPy array like we discussed size, item. So these were the few of the attributes of NumPy array. In the last lecture we explained all these topics, and the best way to learn these things is practice. Open your Jupyter notebook and practice all these concepts, and if you have any doubt you can come to me. So just revising the NumPy, it stands for numerical Python. It is a package for data analysis and scientific computing. NumPy uses multi-dimensional array object and has functions and tools for working with these arrays. So NumPy is basically a very rich package for applying different operations on multi-dimensional array. The powerful n-dimensional array in NumPy speeds up the data processing. That's why the NumPy is very popular if you compare Python with the other languages. NumPy can be easily interfaced with other Python packages and provides tools for integrating with other programming languages. So these are the features of NumPy. Then students, if you don't have the Jupyter notebook, so then in the idle platform you may need to install this using pip install numpy command to install NumPy on your system. If you have a Jupyter notebook, so you need not to perform this step. Array, so you know that array is there to store elements of homogeneous type, means data of same type, and multiple values here share a single identifier or variable name. And another important point is that array contains ordered collection of data elements. So we took the example of dictionary that was unordered, list was ordered. So again array is a ordered collection of data elements, where each element is of same type and can be referenced using the index position. So we'll focus a bit more on the index today also. Array characteristics, it should be data should be of same type, elements are stored continuously, and each element of array is identified or referenced using the name of the array along with its index. These are the few features or characteristics of the array data type. We took the example that here in that example we discussed that first element 10, clear, it is accessed by the index value 0, clear, and similarly next element second value is accessed, that is 9, with index value 1, and so on. So means this was the example of that how we are going to use the index in a one-dimensional array. NumPy array. So this is used to store list of numerical data, vectors and matrices. So we have a large number of built-in functions for creating, manipulating and transforming NumPy arrays. We have utilized many of the functions, and in the coming lectures we will also apply many more functions. So now we have one more way of creating the NumPy arrays. One of the method we have covered in the last lecture. So the remaining method we will focus now. So for this, students, we will move to the Jupyter notebook. So coming to the Jupyter notebook, we will go to the very first method of creating the array. So start with the name array4 np dot array, and then the values of my matrix 2 1 2, then the second row with values 3 and 4, and I will pass one more parameter. That parameter is basically data type. D type is equal to float. So, and I will display the array elements now. And first very important step, first step is very basic: import NumPy as, and never forget this step. So run this one. So you see here, students, what you are looking here, that I have entered the values, integer values, but now they are converted into float one. So the second parameter that I passed was float. Yeah, see the same. So that's why all the elements have been converted into float one. Now go with the second method, array5 is equal to np dot 0. So if I want to create a matrix with all zero value, so that contains 3 rows and 4 columns. So how this way will look like, just run this one, shift enter. So you see here, so this is a matrix with 3 rows and 4 columns with all zeros. Similarly, students, you can see that we can create array 6, another matrix. So for once, np dot once, np is for numpy with 3 rows and 2 columns. So just to display the result, array 6, and you see now the result in front of you. So here you are saying a matrix with 3 rows and 2 columns with all ones. Student, this is the another way of creating the arrays. Now we'll take one more example. Array 7 is equal to np dot, now make use of arrange method with, let's say, 6 elements, and just show the array 7. Run this one. So students, here you are saying that these 6 elements starting from 0 going up to 5. So this arrange method automatically creates the elements starting from 0 up to 5 if the number of 6. If let's say I enter here numbers are 10, so you just run and you see the list is from 0 to 9. Clear? One more applicability of the same function, you see here, np dot range. Now see, I am going to pass the elements. First is the starting value, second is the stop value, and third is the step. Step means increment. So now this array will start with -2 and its stop point is 24, and it will be next element will be automatically incremented by 4. This is called the step value. start value, stop value, and this is called the step. Step means increment. So when we run this one, so the output will give you better clarity. So students, see, this array is starting with -2, then the step value next is 4, -2 plus 4 is 2, then 2 plus 4 is 6, 6 plus 4 is 10. So this will be going up to 24. 24 is the upper bound. So this is not included, basically this will go up to 23, and you see it will go up to 22. Then if you add 4, this is 26. This is beyond the range, beyond the this value. Clear? So this is the one more method of creating the array. So these are all the methods of different methods of creating the array. Now moving back to our next topic, students, the next topic we have indexing and slicing. This is the today's part that we elaborated. First we discussed that how to create the array by different methods. Few methods we discussed in the last lecture, few in today's. Now next is indexing. Very important topic, very vital for Python. We have learned about indexing single dimensional array in our earlier example. For 2D indexing for both dimensions, basically they start from 0, and both dimension means rows and columns, and each element is referred through indexes I and j, where I represents the rows and j represents the column number. For example, students, we have taken this example. These are the marks of student in different subjects: mathematics, English, science. The students are Ramesh, Vedika, Harun and Prasad. As these are 4 students represented by 4 rows, and subjects, 3 subjects represented by 3 columns. The array will be called, we have named the array as marks with the 4 rows and 3 columns. So first 4 is represented the numbers of rows, that is the students, and 3 columns representing the subjects. Now this array can store 4 by 3 elements, that is the marks of 4 students, that is 4 into 3 is by this 12 elements. Students, here you can see that the marks of ij refers to the element I plus 1 and j plus 1. Why this is I plus 1 and j plus 1? Clear? I plus 1 row and j plus 1, because we are starting from 0 position. So basically this elements, this Ramesh 78, his basically his index value is 0 0, but technically this is row 1 and column 1. Its value is 0 1. Ramesh English marks is represented by 0 1, but this is first row and second column. So that's why we increment by default the row value by 1 and also the column value by 1, because the index is starting at 0 value. So therefore the marks of 3 1. 3 1 is basically my 4th row. This is 4th row and first column. So this is the 0th column and this is the first column. So now the 3 1 is represented by the value 73. This is the 0th row inside the system, the first row, second row, third row. This is 0th column and this is first column. So this 722 is the marks of Prasad in English, represented by 3 marks 3 comma 1. So we can work on this example in Python also. So moving to the Jupyter notebook. So see students, that I have already created the array. I have named it as marks. So with the given data, I have converted into rows and columns. So in the example, in the PPT, you have seen the example, and now I have converted. Now just first you can see the whole of the matrix. Run this one. So this is one. Now my intention is to basically access 72. So this is basically represented by 3 comma 1, that is the fourth row and second column. If we use the I plus j formula here, I plus 1 and j plus 1, so you run here, this is, you get the 72. If we have to access this 54, this is represented by 3 and column number will be incremented by 1, this is basically 2. So you run this one. So this is nothing very difficult. It is that if you understand this concept, so not so difficult, just a sort of, we have to remember the formula that the index value starts from 0, 0th for row value and 0 for the column value. Moving forward, coming back to the PPT, students, our next topic is slicing. So slicing is also very important part. Slicing means to cut down something, or in other words we can say this is a subset, part of a thing. Slicing means subset or part of a bigger thing. So sometimes we need to extract part of an array. This is done through slicing. We can define which part of the array is to be sliced by specifying the start and the end index value using start and end. So you can see in this start and end, start means marking the beginning of the that slice, and this marks the end of the slice along with the name of the array. So we'll take up the example of the slicing also, students. Now next move to the Jupyter notebook. So for slicing example, first we will create an array. So let's say the array elements are, this is the array method of NumPy, starting with, let's say, value -2, then we have a value 2, then we have a value 6, then we have a value 10, then is 14, then is 18, and let's say finally we have 22. Okay, so this is the array. You can see its output, array 8. Run this one, so you are finding all the elements. Now the important thing is how to slice the array. Now see here, students, with this array 8, I just supply the start value as 3 and ending value as 5. Now you see the output here. So my third value here is this is 0th, first, second and third is 10, and next is 40, but that is represented by, clear, this is the, no, 0 1 2 3 and this is 4, but 5 is not included here. The upper bound is always excluded when we are slicing the array. Clear? So this is another important point to remember. Clear that if I should have written here 3 and then is 6, so you know that the next element which get included is 18, but this sixth element is basically 0 1 2 3 4 5 and 6 is always excluded. So this is slice means this is the part of the array. So similarly, one more example is like I will do here, that if I have to, this is my start value, nothing, then I have the end value, nothing, and finally I have -1. So see, students, this is a very tricky one. See here, so this method is there for basically to reverse -1s, basically decrements. So decrements from the other side, from the right hand side, from the 22 is the right side of the array. So this is for reversing the array. So if we have to reverse a array, so we can use this method. Here you can, students, here you can say this is the, I have not mentioned the start value, I have not mentioned the end value, and finally I have given only the step value. This -1 is representing the step value. Clear? So This we can use in the other way also. So there are the numerous permutation and combinations are available for slicing also and indexing also. We have just gone through the basics. Anywhere in the coming lectures, wherever this concept will come, I will also elaborate. But this is the basic, very elementary, and this you need to understand very carefully. And the most important thing here is that you have to practice. That if you practice, then you are very comfortable in the coming lectures also. So students, I hope that you have understood the topic. So at the end of the session, I thank you all for attending the session on the behalf of Cambridge International School, Disuva. Thank you. Thank you.